WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Teeling. Today I have Teeling Brabazon. Brabazon Bottling Series number 3, 14-year-old single malt Irish whiskey finished in a PX or in PX casks. All right, whiskey base number 157720. Look at this package. This is amazing, all right? So the green is great. Look, I have green on today. You have to open it up like this. This is all cardboard, and then you have the bottle inside. The same bottle they've been basically using here for the series number 1 and for the series number 2, but the packaging has become a little bit more elegant, to say the least here. Mr. Brabazon was one of those businessmen that helped the Liberties, that is a quarter of Dublin, to actually flourish way back when. So we're going to compare it today to, of course, a Teeling Brabazon Series number 1. Why Series number 1 and not number 2? Number 2 was port, number 1 is sherry. So this is sherry cask, non-chilled filtered, yay. This was the 2018 bottling. So what I'm missing here, this at least says non-chilled filtered. Now, this does not say that anywhere. It doesn't say it on the packaging. It doesn't say it on the bottle. And as Ralphie always says here, the contract is with the consumer on the bottle, on the label. And so somewhere on the label, we should have natural color and non-chilled filtering. If it's not there, it's not there, and so we can't know that, and that's a little bit of a shame. All right, very, very good. This is 86 euros over here in Germany at the moment, and this is 69 euros over here in Germany at the moment. So we're talking about 18 euros, 17 euros price difference between the two of them. Both of them are 49.5% alcohol by volume, ABV. Both of them were matured in ex-bourbon barrels. We don't know exactly which ones, and both of these were actually then finished in sherry. We don't know what type of sherry. We know that this is Pedro Ximenez, PX. All right, very, very good. So we go back 14 years in the past, and so this was around 2005, and we know in 2005 that Teeling did not exist. So where does this juice come from? So if we go back in history, Jack Teeling is the son of John Teeling. John Teeling built the Cooley Distillery and sold it to Beam, which later became Beam Suntory. Within 3 days, I was told, he had to get out tens of thousands of barrels out of the warehouses and put them someplace else, which was a logistic miracle, actually. And it worked out just fine, and now they've been using these barrels ever since to actually produce everything we taste in Teeling. Now, John Teeling has actually created a new distillery, which is called the Great Northern Distillery, and so if you ever have anything from Teeling that has grain in it, probably starting around now, that grain comes from Great Northern Distillery rather than someplace else. So, family connections and so on. All right, so oh, a very, very nice sherry moment. I'm not sure if this is exclusive Pedro Ximenez. There might be a little bit something else in there, but that's a very, very nice sherry finish on top of that whiskey. Here, it's not as present. The sherry finish is a little bit more, on the nose at least, a little bit less dominating. I get more of a raisin and a more of a fig note here. Interesting enough that actually on the bottle, the tubes, they actually have the tasting notes here. Here it says rich fruits and sherry mixed with spice and burnt sugar as the, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read the nose correctly. This is deep nose with dry fruits, peach, plum, and caramel, or caramel. And over here we have for the nose, we have apples, roasted nuts, plums, and raisins. All right, peaches and plums, interesting. All right, very good. So let's try them. If you are ever in Dublin, please visit the following distilleries. Number 1, Pierce Lyons. It's an old church, St. James, that converted into distillery. The graveyard, the history, everything is mwah. It's an excellent, excellent place to go to. Number 2, go to Teeling. Teeling is the best distillery that actually shows the whole process with the tour, and it's not all in just one room. You get to see the 3 different pot stills they use for the triple distillation. Great tour, great gift shop, great people, great place. If you're at Teeling, walk around the block and then go over to the Dublin Liberties. Fairly new distillery, great tour, great people there doing excellent things. And last but not least, if you want to go for a cocktail tour, go to the Roe Distillery, ROE. If you're a Guinness, just go behind that. And they will do an interesting distillery there. That's Diageo, and it's more for the, let's say, younger target audience than I am. Wow. That Pedro Ximenez is really, the force is strong with this one. All right, cheers. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. Every time I'm amazed at the estrogens, the dryness of this whiskey. If you've ever been to a dentist and they have that suction tube, and afterwards all the saliva is removed from your mouth, that's what happens with this whiskey. And I must really commend Teeling on something. I did not like their 18-year-old. But I must admit that their tasting notes were spot on. They wrote hot, white. They didn't write hot. They wrote white pepper as one of the tasting notes, and I totally agree. And here they write dry fruits, burnt sugar with a dry finish. So the finish, they use the word dry twice. So I'm going to call this the super dry whiskey finish. I don't think I've ever had a whiskey that actually removes the saliva from your mouth at such a speed as this whiskey. It's interesting, and yet it's really not my wheelhouse. Second of all, I have the feeling that the 10 years or plus that they use these, that the casks were in there, these are some of the last casks left over for Teeling, and what they did is, well, what can we do to kind of mask the taste of these old barrels? And they said, well, let's take some Pedro Ximenez that can mask any taste, and that's basically what they're doing here. And the entire finish kind of feels like it's plopped on top. It's not married, it's not intertwined, it's more of a bloop on top, and it's just it's almost like a piece of cake, and you have the icing that's this thick. You can't taste the cake anymore. That's what I'm getting here. All right, going over the Teeling Whiskey Brabazon Series 1. Oh, cleanse the palate real quick. Mmm. 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 I like this. Now, it still has a dry finish, and it says so even on the back here. It says here, finish, dry finish, toasted marshmallows lingering with fruit and spices. The word dry only occurs once here, and I do agree. That's very nice. If you can find the Brabazon 1, go for it. If you like port finishes, go for the Brabazon 2. Actually, also one of those secret tips out there. I'm personally not a great fan of the 3 here. Sometimes I feel a little guilty. Now, there's people out there who've actually subscribed themselves, that have just dedicated themselves to become a champion of Irish whiskey. It's not me. It's not my job to actually be the champion of Irish whiskey. I'm not going to praise everything that I taste, especially not everything from Ireland or Scotland or America or Germany or any place else for that matter. That's not my role. My role is to actually taste whiskey, and it says whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. This is my personal viewpoint of this whiskey. That's all I'm doing. I'm reviewing. I'm giving recommendations. This receives a recommendation. This really does not. I'm going to give this a C minus in my tasting category. I'm going to give it a D for value for money. 86 euros is a lot of money. Now, way back when, that's about 3 years ago, I actually reviewed this and it was like, ooh, 69 euros for an Irish whiskey, or 68 euros. That's a whole lot of money. I'm not really sure if it's worth it. Today, it's kind of like, laugh. Hey, that's actually a great value. It's amazing how things have changed, especially in the Irish whiskey world, since then, since all these other brands have appeared and since the renaissance of Irish whiskey has happened. All right, very, very good. Now, my question of the day is, what is your favorite Teeling whiskey? Is it Brabazon series number 1? Is it maybe a revival? I actually like number 5 a lot from them. I think it was a brandy cask finished. That was really nice. There are a few other Teelings out there that are very, very, very nice. If you're ever in Dublin, please go to the gift shop. Please take a look at what they have at the moment on sale for their distillery only. There's been some chestnuts. There's been some Chickacurin oak. There's been some other types of exotic Hungarian oak things there and all this things. They actually have some hand fills you can do yourself. They have some old whiskey, which is very, very expensive, but you can do a dram or you can actually buy a bottle if you want. It's a great place to go. I can highly recommend the Distillery Tour. All right. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Please tell others about this crazy guy over here in Europe tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. I hope you'll see the Brabazon 1, 2, or 3 one day. If you have the choice, go for the 1, then go for the 2, and then if you can't find anything else, think about going for the 3, but it's a try before you buy, definitely. All the best. WhiskyJason here. Bye-bye.